Hello guys, welcome back to another camera review. So today we are going to be looking at the Nikon D5000. So this is one of the cameras that was put out to replace the more old era of cameras such as the D90 and the D60. So it did come out as one of the Nikon's modern versions of the DSLR APS-C lineups. So this camera was actually released it was made available in April 2009 for the MSRP of $850 US. So how much I got this for was actually $200, and they gave me the kit lens, the body, and also the 18 to 200 f3.5 to 3.5 to 4.6, 3.6 to 4.5 I believe. And then yeah, that's a pretty good deal. So yeah, that's how much I got this camera for. So given that price point, is this actually a good budget camera? So we'll just get into that. So just a quick dive on the specs. So here you have so just for those who are just getting into cameras, this is a DSLR, not a mirrorless. So I've actually had, it might be quite obvious to us, like why do I even need to point this out, but you'd be surprised at how many people are asking, when I'm selling this, they ask me like, is this a mirrorless? Although it obviously isn't a mirrorless, because mirrorless cameras tend to have a more slim profile because they don't have to put this mirror in. Although I think I did make a video, no I didn't, but I'll make a video soon about why you should get like mirrorless or DSLRs. So one thing about DSLRs is, even though you can't really notice the difference between like the autofocus speeds between DSLRs and mirrorless, I do find like it to be more like swift in the DSLRs, the autofocus. Yeah, that's one point. But we'll skip that first. Especially in like those, because like DSLRs have been made for quite a long time, so they had the time to like refine the autofocus. They're really familiar with the autofocus in these DSLR setups. Whereas mirrorless, they just Sony was the first one to do it. Like I think they didn't have much time to fiddle around with the autofocus in mirrorless, so it's not as refined. Although for now, like cameras such as the A7 Mark III, A7 Mark IV, they do have really good autofocus. So, but they do cost a really big fortune just for like really good autofocus. So, you want good autofocus and you want a budget camera, most likely you should go for the DSLRs. Don't go for the mirrorless. Okay. We're getting a bit off track, but yeah, let's get into the specs. So this camera has a 12.3 megapixel CMOS sensor, and over here we have the live view. This is a tilt and swivel screen. You can just tilt it, swivel it, and then you have live view. So for live view, you can only use contrast detect autofocus. Face detect is actually better, but you can only use face detect when you are in the viewfinder. So if you want to change it to live view, you just have to press this button, and this is your normal D-pad just to navigate around. You have your media button, menu button, minimize, maximize, information button, so you can use this to like switch your information. Let me just turn it on for you first. Sorry, just turn it on. Let me just put on the lens again, because it's not wise to keep the lens off for a long time. So yeah, this was actually a really good deal. Okay, so you have the live menu here. So if you press this, it'll give you a live view of everything. So yeah, I do find it to be a bit slower because it's using contrast. Yeah, obviously because it's using contrast detect. So I tend to go ahead and use the viewfinder instead. So you would use this button to change the information. You can change like what you want to see, what you want to change. You can you can use this information button to specifically change which one you want here. So maybe here it's auto, what's it, I forgot what A is, but yeah, there's single shot, automatic, continuous. Oh yeah, automatic just changes within single shot and continuous. So normally we keep it at single shot, unless if you're going action, then you would want to keep it at continuous. Okay, I think that's about it for the live view. And then let's look at the dials. So here, as your normal camera, we have the M, manual, A, aperture priority, S, shutter priority, and P, program. And then here we have our auto, which is just for like the really camera newbies. You don't like, you just want to do casual photo shoot, you will just put it to auto. And then there's the no flash and a scene. So these are just your normal presets. You can find this in like most of your just, what's it called, the small cameras, the small profile one, snap and go, quick shot, what, I forgot what's it called. But yeah, you can find it in your normal digital cameras like the Canons and all that. Yeah, usually I keep it at aperture priority. So here we have our exposure button. Here is also the information button. This is normally made easier for you to reach while you're looking through the viewfinder. So you're looking through the viewfinder, it'll be quite inconvenient for you to like press these buttons. Although these are placed here, so it's easier for you to press. But sometimes people just like to press it like this, you know. Yeah. And let's just look at. Sorry, let me turn it off first. So we'll take this off. Here you have the tripod mount. And then the battery. Oh, so I think the guy lost the latch for the battery. Or does it not come with a latch? Because if it doesn't, that's a bit disappointing. Okay, so this battery, it's a 7.2 volts, 1.08 ampere hours. So given that editor Kenny here, sorry, I actually forgot to mention most of the specs, the key features, because I got kind of carried away just looking for stuff to talk about the camera. But yeah, I'll say it now. So the D5000 actually has 11 autofocus points with 3D tracking, and ISO range of 200 to 3200 range, 4 frames per second continuous shooting, X-Speed image processing engine, extensive in-camera retouching, including raw development and straightening, connector for optional GPS unit, new battery it has a new battery with increased capacity over the D60 and D90. Yeah, so that's about it. Sorry, my GoPro ran out of storage on the SD card. Now where was I? Okay, so for the Nikon battery, well, I think I did capture that, but yeah, it's a 1080 mAh battery, the same you'll find on iPhone 6. I don't think you should really like expect much capacity in a DSLR that's made in 2009, but it can still last you about a day. Probably bring some spare batteries. Probably not a day, I'm sorry. Not a day, definitely not a day. Especially if you're doing like full photo shoots. But if you're doing casual photo shoot, it wouldn't last you a day. No, it could last you a day if you're just doing casually, instead of like those intensive wedding photographers. Okay, and let's see what else we have. So here we have our FN button. It's just for your quick actions. Like these buttons are just placed for convenience. Yep, and yeah, I guess that's about it. Oh wait, sorry, I didn't show the ports yet. So we do have these ports, since it's pretty old, and good thing it uses a full-size HDMI. That is actually really good. Holy. And then, but it still uses these. Of course, it uses the old micro USB Type B and your normal, what's that, GPS? Never seen that before. But yeah, I guess it's for GPS. And for SD card, uses your normal SD card. Does not use any CF card, or yeah, it's a good thing because it's a bit hard to find CF card readers here in Brunei. Yeah, we have a delete button here, forgot to mention that. So we actually have the flash here. Sorry, my SD card ran out of space again. I really need to change my SD card. It's 8 GB. I didn't know 720p will take that much. So yeah, I guess that's basically it for this camera. Yeah, so I think in my opinion, this is not really that good of a, I mean, it is a good budget camera, but I would suggest going for like the D7000. But of course, for like casual photographers, of course you can go for this camera. But I think overall you would still be better going off with a decently priced, I mean, honestly, I did get this for, okay, let's say you're just a casual photographer, going around shooting like family moments and all that stuff. You can go with a good budget 550D. The Canon 550D is good, but if you want like just traveling camera, of course just go with the Sony Nex cameras for interchangeability of lenses. Of course, if you don't want to change your lens, because I don't really like using those point and shoot cameras. Yeah, point and shoot, because the old ones especially, because unless it's the new ones like the Ricoh GR, that's pretty good. But though I wouldn't recommend buying old point and shoot cameras, because you are really compromising on like the quality. Yeah, so I don't think this would be the 550D, but yeah, it's still a pretty good camera considering the price. So all in all, a good budget camera just comes down to the price, you know, to fit your budget. But yeah, I guess that's it from me. Sorry if I didn't really like give you a good insight and help you make a decision, but yeah, I'm sorry I'm not really that professional in this. I'm just giving my 2 cents in this. So yeah, see you guys.